सो आज के लिए जो पहला टॉपिक है वो ये है, सी starting with this, see, photosynthesis तो आपको पता है कि क्या होता है. Photosynthesis is a process by which plants, some bacteria and some protistants use the energy from sunlight to produce what? Produce glucose from carbon dioxide and water. So carbon dioxide and water को use करके ये क्या बनाते हैं? They make glucose. ठीक है, कौन? Plants, bacteria and some protistants. So these are the photosynthetic organisms. Plants, there are some bacteria, there are some protistants. So the fact that we have to remember for today is this. Plants are the only photosynthetic organisms जिनके पास leaves होती हैं, ठीक है? No other photosynthetic organisms other than plants have leaves. But not all plants have leaves. But of those organisms that are photosynthetic, only plants have leaves. ठीक है? So if we have a statement that says plants are the only photosynthetic organisms to have leaves, that is correct. और दूसरे photosynthetic organisms के पास leaves नहीं होते हैं. अब ये याद रखने वाली चीज है, this is something very basic. This is I would say 9th standard या उससे भी पहले की चीजें हैं. But कभी कभी क्या होता है, we take some things, we tend to neglect certain things thinking that अच्छा ये तो हमें आता ही है, but then when questions come on it we find it a little tricky. So it's good that if we don't neglect all these small topics also. So देखिए, क्लोरोफिल की बात अगर हम करें तो क्लोरोफिल बेसिकली जो कन्वर्जन होता है ऑफ यूजेबल सनलाइट का जो कन्वर्जन होता है इनटू केमिकल एनर्जी में this is basically associated with the action of the pigment that is chlorophyll, the green pigment chlorophyll. Chlorophyll basically क्या है? It is a complex molecule and बहुत सारी modifications of chlorophyll occur among plants, and not only plants, they occur among other photosynthetic organisms as well. So chlorophyll is found not only in plants, but it is found virtually in all photosynthetic organisms including green plants, cyanobacteria, algae. So what happens is that chlorophyll absorbs energy from light, and this energy basically is then used to convert carbon dioxide into carbohydrates. Remember one thing, that all photosynthetic organisms have chlorophyll. So जितने भी organisms हैं that undergo photosynthesis, they have chlorophyll. So if you are given a statement saying that there is this or there are certain organisms that carry out photosynthesis without chlorophyll, no, there are no such all जितने भी photosynthetic organisms हैं उनमें chlorophyll होता ही है. So let us say there is a statement that says no photosynthetic organisms other than plants have chlorophyll. Is that right? No, that is wrong, because all photosynthetic organisms have chlorophyll. Chlorophyll plants के अलावा भी तो photosynthetic organisms होते हैं, जैसे कि cyanobacteria, algae, what we saw, there are some bacteria, there are some protistants. The next fact is this, that grasslands are known by different names in different regions of the world. So we have tropical grasslands and we have temperate grasslands. So tropical grasslands in East Africa, the tropical grasslands are known as savanna. In Brazil, they are known as campos. In Venezuela, they are known as llanos. Temperate grasslands are known in Argentina as pampas. In North America, they are known as prairies. In South Africa, they are known as veld. In Central Asia, they are known as steppe. In Australia, they are known as down. And this is a fact from the NCERT of class 7th. So this is again basic, but we have to remember the terms that are associated with tropical and what are the ones that are associated with temperate regions. So for instance, let's say we are asked something like which of the vegetations are found in tropical regions of the world. So let's say we are given llanos, the name llanos, we are given the name veld, we are given the name pampas, and we are given the name down. So we know that from here only llanos is the one that is found in the tropical regions, because veld and pampas and down are found in the temperate regions. So East Africa is the grasslands in the tropical grasslands in East Africa are known as savanna. Brazil में it's known as campos. Venezuela llanos. Temperate grasslands in Argentina pampas. In North America prairie. South Africa में veld. Central Asia में steppe. Australia में down. Next, quickly, very quickly, not going into much detail. महलवारी system, ये याद रखिएगा, was a system that was devised by Holt Mackenzie. So remember this, right? Holt Mackenzie. Now, here Holt Mackenzie devised this system because he felt that village was an important social institution in the North Indian society and that had to be preserved. अब यहाँ पर basically what was the basic unit of revenue assessment? It was a महल यानी कि village. क्या करते थे इसमें कि जो estimated revenue होता था each plot का within a village, it was added up. ठीक है, छोटे छोटे plots का जो revenues को they used to add it up and the basic unit of revenue collection was a village, महल. They used to at a village level या फिर महल level. So the estimated revenue of each plot within a village was added up to calculate the revenue that each village had to pay. And ये जो demand था of revenue, that the revenue that was supposed to be paid, ये एक permanent चीज नहीं थी. This was not permanently fixed. It was revised periodically. ठीक है, remember these are the facts that we have to focus. It was not permanent. It was revised periodically, and so it was basically to be paid village wise. So revenue was assessed at the महल level, महल और village, ठीक है, या community. अब ये जो चार्ज था रेवेन्यू कलेक्ट करने का, द चार्ज ऑफ कलेक्टिंग द रेवेन्यू एंड पेइंग इट टू द कंपनी वाज गिवन टू होम? इट वाज गिवन टू द विलेज हेडमैन. तो यहाँ पर जमींदार को रोल नहीं दिया गया था अंडर द महलवारी सिस्टम. रिमेंबर महल. So महल basically, so in this what happens is the unit was महल, ठीक है. So यहाँ पर basically the entire village was converted into one unit. Remember this, the unit was the village जहाँ से revenue assessment होता था, and it was treated as one unit for the payment of land revenue. The revenue under the महलवारी system was to be revised periodically and not fixed permanently. That is again important. कौन collect करने वाला था यहाँ पे? Village headman was supposed to collect. It was not to be collected by the zamindars. So basically in 1822 this was introduced by this person Holt Mackenzie, where it was in the north western provinces of the Bengal presidency, ठीक है. So the Bengal presidency में इसको introduce किया गया था. That was the northwestern provinces of the Bengal province, Bengal presidency. यानी कि most of this area is in today's present day Uttar Pradesh, right? Fine. बाद में जाके महलवारी system was actually popularized by Lord William Bentinck in Agra and Awadh and was later also extended to Punjab and Madhya Pradesh. Next, very quickly ये स्कीम देख लेते हैं. प्रसाद स्कीम. प्रसाद स्कीम बेसिकली इसका बहुत ही लंबा चौड़ा फुल फॉर्म है. एक बार देख लीजिएगा फुल फॉर्म. नेशनल मिशन ऑन पिलग्रिमेज रिजुविनेशन एंड स्पिरिचुअल हेरिटेज ऑगमेंटेशन ड्राइव स्कीम. अब that much we don't have to remember, just remember this Prasad scheme, and Prasad से remember pilgrimage, rejuvenation, spirituality से related. So basically Prasad scheme, ठीक है. Prasad scheme remember is a central sector scheme. अब देखिए क्या होता है, there are two kinds of schemes by the central government. Central government के पास central government की जो scheme होती है, दो तरह की scheme होती है. One is a central sector scheme and the other is the centrally sponsored scheme, right? One is central sector scheme and one is centrally sponsored scheme. So ये जो central sector scheme होता है, that is based on subjects that are given in the union list, जिसकी पूरी responsibility जो है वो central government के पास होती है, and also on some concurrent list topics, ठीक है. But ये जो centrally sponsored scheme होता है, that may be based on state list subject. State list subject के ऊपर हो सकता है ये जो centrally sponsored scheme होता है. जो पर से सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट की प्राइमरी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी नहीं है, बट सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट यहाँ क्या कर रहा है, सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट इन सेंट्रली स्पॉन्सर्ड स्कीम्स के थ्रू स्टेट्स को हेल्प कर रहा है फाइनेंशियली. इट इज हेल्पिंग द स्टेट्स फाइनेंशियली एंड इट इज गिविंग देम अ डायरेक्शन टू वर्क. ठीक है, सो देयर इज अ शेयरिंग ऑफ फंड व्हेन इट कम्स टू सेंट्रली स्पॉन्सर्ड स्कीम्स. सेंट्रल सेक्टर स्कीम्स मतलब क्या, पूरा जो है गवर्नमेंट, सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट जो है वो रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी लेता है. इट इज द complete responsibility of the central government. So this Prashad scheme is a central sector scheme. So remember that it was launched by the Ministry of Tourism in the year 2014-15. So this is something we can remember about this scheme. ठीक है, Ministry of Tourism एक हो गया and one is 2014-15. So remember that it is not a recent scheme. It is the scheme of 2014-15. तो पुराना ही scheme है, तो ऐसा अगर दिया गया है, there's something like it was launched in 2019 or so, no. It is 2014-15 के टाइम पर, and the ministry is the Ministry of Tourism. पिलग्रिमेज से रिलेटेड मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ टूरिज्म. इसका एम क्या था बेसिकली, इस स्कीम का एम था इंटीग्रेटेड डेवलपमेंट ऑफ आइडेंटिफाइड पिलग्रिमेज एंड हेरिटेज डेस्टिनेशन. सो हेरिटेज डेस्टिनेशंस भी इंक्लूडेड है. ठीक है, इट इज नॉट जस्ट पिलग्रिमेज, इट इज पिलग्रिमेज एंड हेरिटेज डेस्टिनेशंस, एंड इट इंक्लूड्स इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर डेवलपमेंट सच एज एंट्री पॉइंट्स, लास्ट माइल कनेक्टिविटी, एंट्री पॉइंट यानी कि रोड, रेल, वाटर ट्रांसपोर्ट, इन सारी चीजों का डेवलपमेंट. एंड लास्ट माइल कनेक्टिविटी also involves development of tourism facilities. And right now this is what we have to know. इससे ज्यादा we don't have to know. So just remember these things. प्रसाद स्कीम से याद रख लीजिएगा. Just remember the name प्रसाद scheme. प्रसाद scheme it's for pilgrimage and heritage sites, and then it is a centrally sponsored. It is a central sector scheme. Remember, it is a central sector scheme. I'm sorry. And it was launched by the Ministry of Tourism. Not recently, it was way back in 2014-15. Remember these. Objective तो बाकी clear ही हो जाएगा. इससे you have read this, एक बार objective पढ़ लेंगे तो we know what is the general objective of the scheme. So these are the important points. Okay, central sector scheme. Next, very quick fact and something that it's a general thing that we are aware of. Again, ये NCERT से है. See, ये छोटे छोटे facts NCERTs में दिए हुए हैं, so it's important for us to revise these again and again, क्योंकि कभी कभी हम भूल जाते हैं. तो the point is here, यहाँ पर बेसिकली ये वाला जो है क्लास 7th की NCERT से ज्योग्राफी. अब इंडिया के जो पेनिनसुलर रॉक्स हैं, they contain most of the reserves of coal, metallic minerals, mica, and many other non-metallic minerals. Bauxite, gold, copper, and manganese are also found here. So now this is a very simple statement that is given. Now if we are given a question like, let us say, the minerals that can be found in the peninsular plateau of India, and the options would be bauxite and the 1 bauxite, 2 let's say coal, 3 let's say gold, and then 4 let us say mica. So what is it? What are the minerals that are found in the peninsular plateau? 1 and 2, 2 and 3, 1, 2, 3, all the 4, all the 1, 2, 3, 4. So it is all the 4, right? Bauxite, see bauxite है, gold भी मिलता है, coal भी मिलता है peninsular plateaus में. There is also mica that is found. So remember these minerals that are found in the peninsular rocks of India. Coal is found. There are metallic minerals. See specifically mica that is non-metallic, and then there are other non-metallic minerals. Bauxite hai. Gold is also there. Bauxite is also there in the peninsular rocks. Copper is there. Manganese is there. So remember these: coal, mica, bauxite, gold, copper, manganese. ये सारी चीजें peninsular rocks में पाई जाती हैं. Right, they are largely found in Andhra Pradesh undivided, Tamil Nadu, Maharashtra, Karnataka. Also Deccan Plateau जो है, जो Deccan Plateau है, that hosts the oldest rocks in India. It has the oldest rocks in India, and इसीलिए वहां पर ज्यादा possibility है of concentration of minerals. Minerals वहां पे ज्यादा पाए जाएंगे than younger deposits. And बाकी जो sedimentary rocks हैं that are on the western and eastern flanks of the peninsula in Gujarat and Assam have most of the petroleum deposits. So the western and the eastern flanks of the peninsular region that is Gujarat and in Assam have most of the petroleum deposits. Remember this. So the minerals that can be found, we will be now able to answer. Peninsular India में gold है, yes. So if you have a doubt कि हो सकता है gold नहीं मिलता हो peninsular rocks में, नहीं, it's not like that. Gold is there. Gold is found in the peninsular rocks. Okay, this is straight from NCERT basics. Next fact ये देख लीजिए quickly. We have to remember this. We know that there are 3 Pitakas when it comes to Buddhism, right? तो 3 Pitakas जो हैं, one is Satya Pitaka, one is Vinay Pitaka and one is Abhidhamma Pitaka. कौन से पिटाका में क्या है ये याद रखना जरूरी है. Buddha's teachings are there in Satya Pitaka or Sutta Pitaka, whatever you call it, Satya Pitaka. Buddha's teachings are there in the Satya Pitaka, remember. Then Sangha, see, Buddhism के 3 pillars हैं. One is the Buddha, the Dhamma and the Sangha or Sangha. Right, so Sangh के जो rules होंगे that are written in the Vinay Pitaka, and the philosophy and the doctrine of Buddhism appearing in the Sattas are the Abhidhamma Pitaka. Okay, so philosophy or जो doctrine है, that is more about the Dharma, the Dhamma, is written in the Abhidhamma Pitaka. Right, so rules and regulations के बारे में Vinay Pitaka में है, and Buddha's teachings are in this, the Satya Pitaka. Now next एक चीज है, ये जो एक है, ये एक एक्सपर्ट है, this is an excerpt that has been taken from very basic NCERT of class 6th history NCERT, but इसमें कुछ ऐसे crucial information है that can be very important from the prelims perspective. कभी कभी क्या होता है, we may be asked, कुछ पोस्ट्स के नाम दे दिए जाते हैं, official designations that were used in ancient India. Let us say there is a statement that says designation and role. So let us say there is a statement that says Nagara Shreshthi means chief craftsman. So will you be able to say that it is wrong or right? So that is a wrong statement. Basically, Nagara Shreshthi is a chief banker or merchant. So basically, इस excerpt को अगर हम पढ़ें from the NCERT, this is part of class 6th NCERT. So we will be able to we'll get some idea. तो इसको पढ़ते हैं, यहाँ से we will try to take out some important information. ठीक है, from the prelims perspective. अब देखिए, quickly I'll read this out. See, the kings adopted a number, ancient India की बात हो रही है, ठीक है. Kings adopted a number of steps to win the support of men who were powerful either economically or socially or because of their political and military strength. Important men probably had a say in local administration. These included the Nagara Shreshthi or chief banker. So remember this association, I've highlighted it. So remember, Nagara Shreshthi was the chief banker or the merchant of the city. The chief banker or merchant of the city was called as the Nagara Shreshthi. The Sarthavaha or the leader of the merchant caravans. Merchant caravans को lead करने वाले को क्या कहते थे? Sarthavaha. So now you should be able to guess, leader of the merchant caravans is associated with Sarthavaha. सार्थ से पता चल जाना चाहिए आपको, लीडर ऑफ द मर्चेंट कैरावंस, राइट, सारथी काइंड ऑफ थिंग. अब नाउ देन देयर इज दिस प्रथमा कुलिका, दैट इज द चीफ क्राफ्ट्समैन. ठीक है, प्रथमा कुलिका इज द चीफ craftsman. So if there is an association that says Prathama Kulika is the chief banker, no, Prathama Kulika is the chief craftsman and the head of the kayasts or kayasthas or the scribes. Okay. Sometimes one person held many offices. For instance, besides being a Mahadandnayaka, Harishena was a Kumar Amatya. अब इससे पहले before what is Kumar Amatya? Before what is Kumar Amatya, what is Mahadandnayaka? देखिए, पहले के टाइम पे हाई रैंकिंग ऑफिशियल्स वेर कॉल्ड दंडनायकास. ठीक है, एंड महादंडनायकास वेर हाई रैंकिंग जुडिशियल मिलिट्री ऑफिसर्स. ठीक है, तो this person Harisena was a Mahadandanaika, was a Kumar Amatya. Kumar Amatya का मतलब क्या होता है? Important minister. तो अब आपको ये भी association पता चल गया कि कुमार अमत्या अगर लिखा हुआ है तो that is an important minister. So अगर minister it is written minister then that is correct. कुमार अमत्या. Pronunciations में थोड़ा इधर उधर हो सकता है, but the point is you should get it. Kumar Amatya is the important minister. Fine. Now the Sandhi Vigrahika. Sandhi Vigrahika, it was the minister of war and peace. अब संधि से आपको पता चल जाना चाहिए peace, trying to make peace. So minister of war and peace was Sandhi Vigrahika. ठीक है, तो ये याद हो गया. नगरा श्रेष्ठी, आई हैव हाइलाइटेड इट, तो इट्स इजी टू रिमेंबर. ये आप रिमेंबर कर लीजिएगा ये एसोसिएशंस, बिकॉज दिस हैज बीन मेंशन्ड इन द वेरी बेसिक एनसीईआरटीज दैट वी नेग्लेक्ट. Then we go to try and do very hi-fi things, but we miss out on these small details, important facts, and then we lose out on such questions that we could have answered had we revised the NCERTs properly. So this is one thing we try and remember, right? Nagara Shreshthi is chief banker or merchant of the city. Sarthavaha is merchant of the caravans. Prathama Kukila is the chief craftsman. Mahadandanayaka is a high-ranking judicial or military officer, right? And then Kumar Amatya is a minister, important minister or minister, what we can say. Sandhi Vigrahika is a minister of war and peace. तो इसके लिए आज के लिए बहुत फैक्ट्स हो गए काफी. So these things we have to keep on revising, because some facts जो हैं we will forget with time, so we have to keep on revising these. And for today we will end the discussion for this prelims basket here, and we will continue in the next one.